Let us begin by reading the word problem out loud. A family of corn growers surpassed their sales goal by $3,750 during their first month of farming. However, due to the season change, more birds began to make daily visits to their farm and caused major damage to their crops. During their second month of farming, the family was now $1,500 behind their sales goal. How much did their corn sales decrease by in 1 month? Let us begin our strategy for problem solving by analyzing the problem. Keep in mind that the first thing you want to identify when analyzing the problem is the question that's being asked. In this case, the question is, how much did their corn sales decrease by in 1 month? So now that we know what our unknown variable is going to represent, we can already go to step 2 and assign a variable. So let us go ahead and do so. We'll go ahead and use the letter X, and it's going to represent the following. The amount their corn sales decreased by in 1 month. Again, the assignment of the variable is simply the question that's asked, reworded in the form of a statement. So now that we've assigned a variable, let us go back to analyzing the problem. Let's see what information we can extract from the given sentences. Well, we know that a family of corn growers surpassed their sales goal by $3,750 during their first month of farming. So surpassed, that's good. That means that there was a surplus and the actual value was $3,750. So we're going to be working with a positive $3,750. And that's again because the indicator was surplus being positive. Now, we also know that during their second month of farming, the family was now $1,500 behind their sales goal. So the keyword here is behind, and the actual number is 1,500. So that's going to be a negative 1,500 because the word behind is an indicator of negativity. And what we want to know is how much did their sales goal decrease by in 1 month. So let's go ahead and start off forming our equation. So we're going to start off with the most recent events, that being that the family is behind their sales goal by 1,500. So this is the most recent event, and this is a cause of the previous event, which was they were surpassing their sales goal by 3,750. And now we know that their sales decreased. So decreasing is an indicator of subtraction. So from their $3,750 in surplus sales, we're going to want to subtract from that. And the quantity that we want to subtract is actually the quantity that we're going to solve for, which is represented by a variable x. So that's going to be our equation again. So originally, the family surpassed their sales goal by 3,750. That's why that's positive. And then they had a decrease in sales. So you're going to want to subtract from that 3,750. And now that put them at their most recent sales, which is negative $1,500 behind their sales goal. So our equation makes sense, so now let's go ahead and solve it. We'll start off by bringing it down, so 1,500 is equal to 3,750 minus x. So when solving, we know we want to get the variable x by itself. On the same side as the variable is this positive 3,750. So we're going to want to eliminate it through subtraction. So we subtract both sides by 3,750. And on the right hand side, the positive 3,750 and the negative 3,750 simplify out, leaving us with just simply negative x. And on the left hand side, we're going to want to carry out the subtraction. Since they are both the same sign, we can rewrite them both as negatives with addition. So it's going to be 1,500 plus a negative 3,750. And then again, since they're both negative, we're just going to go ahead and sum them up. So we'll do that off to the top right, and we'll have 3,750 plus 1,500. So 0 plus 0 gives us 0, 5 plus 0 gives us 5, 7 plus 5 gives us 12, we bring down the 2, carry up a 1, and 1 plus 3 plus 1 gives us a 5. So we end up with a 5,250. However, they were both negative, so adding negativity to already negativity gives us more negativity, and we have that negative x on the other end. Now we want to get the x completely by itself. Currently, we're multiplying it by -1. That's what that negative sign indicates. So we're going to divide both sides, which is opposite operation of multiplication. And we're going to divide both sides by the value that we want to eliminate, which is -1. So on the right hand side, we end up with both negative signs canceling out, and we get a 1x, or simply x. And on the left, again, the negative signs cancel out, and anything divided by 1 is itself, so we end up with 5,250 is equal to x. So now let us go ahead and state the conclusion clearly now that we have solved for our variable. So since the question was how much did their corn sales decrease by in 1 month, we'll go ahead and state our conclusion as the following. Their corn sales decreased by 5,250 in 1 month. So now let us go ahead and check the result. When checking the result, you always want to start off with the original equation formed in step 3. So that is 1,500 is equal to 3,750 minus x. However, we know the value of x, so we're going to go ahead and substitute that in its place. So 3,750 minus 5,250. And on the right hand side, that's what we're going to have. And on the left hand side, we're just going to bring down the 1,500. So all we have left to do is to simplify the right hand side, since the left hand side is already in simplest form. So we'll bring that down, and we'll carry out the subtraction off to the right hand side. So again, they're opposite signs, so we're going to want to take the absolute value of each. So we'll do the absolute value of negative 5,250, and that's going to be equal to a positive 5,250. And we're going to do the absolute value of 3,750, which is going to be just itself, 3,750. And now the bigger one is definitely the 5,250, which resulted from the absolute value of a negative. So we're going to subtract the smaller from the bigger. So we'll do 5,250 minus 3,750. 0 minus 0 gives us 0. 5 minus 5 is 0. 2 minus 7 can't do that, so we borrow from the 4. And that's going to give us a 12 instead of a 2. So 12 minus 7 is 5. And then 4 minus 3 gives us a 1. So we end up with 1,500. But again, since the absolute value was from a negative value, and that was the bigger one, we're going to have more negative than we are positive, so that's going to be a negative 1,500. So since we end up with a true statement, that verifies that our solution is correct.